So first of all, let me say this. Last week, we had the most number of visitors to our website in the 10-year history of Databricks because of DBRX. But what are people doing with it? So, in Australia, we have customers like Atlassian. What are they doing? Atlassian basically is using these models to build IT help desk. And they have over 2,400 hours of service desk time that they've saved just using these models. NAB, Australia National Bank, has built a personal banker assistant that uses these models, and you can then interact with it, and it can help you, and you don't need to get stuck on the phone, trying to figure out a labyrinth of how to get help. Ola, which is, in India, a big company that drives folks around, gives them rides, ride sharing, and what they've done is we're actually helping them build, using DBRX, their own model that's really good at Indian language. So it can actually do it can actually interact with folks using multiple different Indian dialects. So there are lots and lots of these. Tokyo Marine in Japan is my favorite because they're actually kind of shifting the company's strategy from being an insurance maker that only pays after an accident has happened to figuring out how can we predict accidents from happening and predict them in advance, and that way sort of making it better for both Tokyo Marine and also the folks that are utilizing them as an insurance company. So there are lots and lots of exciting use cases. I think we're just scratching the surface. It's going to take years before we see how it impacts the whole planet, but we're very excited.
And is it going to take years to build market share? You gave us a list of some big customers there, Ali, but you're not the only game in town. You've got OpenAI's GPT, you got Google Gemini.
Stats. We've announced that we now have crossed $1.6 billion revenue, and we're growing about 50% year over year last year. That makes us the fastest growing software company on the planet that has more than $1 billion revenue. So, there is a lot of demand for what we're doing. Why is that? Well, I think there's two things you can do in AI. A lot of people are focused on consumer applications, ChatGPT, you go in there and chat. But what about the enterprises? All these millions of companies and organizations around the world, they have their own proprietary data. They want to build their own AI, and nobody's focused on that data. Everybody's focused on all the free data in the internet. Tell me what happened in World War II or World War I. But what about, I have a question about this very proprietary data set where I have very confidential information. I don't want that to leak. How do we get the AI to answer questions on that? That's what we specialize on. And that's where open source is really, really important. And I think that we don't see a lot of competition there. And I think that's one of the reasons we've seen our growth actually accelerate. So despite being quite large scale at 1.6 billion and growing 50%, it further accelerated in Q4. So we're excited about this, and we hope that this continues.